I think my ex-boyfriend might be watching tonight.
Woohoo!
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, how's your
He
new
reminds me
fella?
a lot of Mark Billick. Huh?
He does.
Yeah,
He
he's a total
does.
Mark
That's
Billick guy.
hilarious. I want to play this song about damn time. That's what it's called. They said we
Well, be
could use
careful.
like
Don't do
since we're
anything
not.
that's gonna.
Well, they said that we could or um uh,
No copyright.
chasing said that we could it's not going to do anything until we're monetized, and even if we're monetized, it's she said it should be fine. I'll read you what she said. Um,
Okay.
we're not going to get too crazy here. Oh, laughing at myself.
Anybody out there in locked and loaded diaries land? We're just checking in with y'all to say hi on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Maybe keeping it light and breezy today, but I don't know. It's hard for me and Heather to keep it light and breezy. We always go to the dark side.
Light and breezy. Let me see here. I want to. Oh, come on. This, like, waiting for ads to end gives me such anxiety sometimes. I'm like, oh my God. Hold on. I'm looking. Is anybody out there? Let's see here. I'm going to change my Switch account. There we go. Can I tell? Can I tell? Ah, yes, it does say
I'm
we're
writing a
live.
paper.
It does say we're live now. That's
yeah,
good.
we are
I'm
live.
gonna share.
Do you see anybody?
I'm gonna share the feed. I'm gonna share it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Where are you sharing it? Where are you
Well,
sharing it
I
to?
thought I was gonna share it maybe to our Facebook page. Let's see.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking maybe. Let's see here. All these steps.
Hey, we're getting it. We are getting it together.
Yeah, this was a lot.
We got
smoother.
6 watchers.
All right, hi guys.
Hey, if you're
We love
watching, say
you.
hi.
We're just gonna. I'm trying to post this on our page here so people know that we're live. Stay alive. Stay alive. Sorry.
Oh, Philly girl.
Oh.
When does summer break start for you?
Oh my gosh! It starts like we have like some teacher trainings that we have to go to. Um. Okay, I published that. Check 1, 2, 3. Um, I think we have to be in session like 2 more days after the kids leave, and it's like a teacher training, and it gives us like the whole week off at Thanksgiving,
Time
so
to
it's
grade.
totally worth it. But it's kind of like aggravating. But it is nice to touch base with all the other art teachers and stuff, like because we never get to see each other. By the way, guys, I'm an art teacher.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey,
Uh,
if y'all are watching, and we're kind of like getting to know Heather and Kimberly today, so if you have any questions
yeah, we
about
just want to.
us, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, we just wanted to hang out with you guys this evening, mainly. Let me see here. I'm gonna. So
Oh,
yeah, just
thank
ask
you,
us
Voice for the
anything. We'll
Voiceless.
do our best to.
Appreciate ya.
I'm not getting all the comments. Let's see here.
I'm curious about Voice for the Voiceless. Who is the secret person behind voice? Uh oh, we just lost Heather. I don't know what happened. see here. Did we lose her? We lost her. Let me see if I got it. Oh, there she is. Where'd you go?
I pushed the wrong button. You know how that goes when you push the wrong button.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a while since I've pushed
fun moment.
I wish I had buttons to push.
Oh my God. Hey, I know your buttons to push.
He actually, I invited him to dinner, and he said yes.
This guy, who?
The fence guy. The fence guy.
All
fence
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not talking about
Hi,
my
Angela.
on here, just so you know.
You're not allowed to.
I'm not doing it.
So, Voice for the Voiceless. Voice for the Voiceless is Angela, and she's an independent missing persons advocate in Wyoming.
Oh, here's chat. Here's chat.
Well, hello, neighbor. I'm in New Mexico. Are you guys having like dry, windy summer? We're like burning down. Everything's burning in New Mexico. They've closed the Santa Fe National Forest and the Carson National Forest to visitors. We cannot go into the National Forest right now because of all the wildfires.
That's easy. That is crazy. I mean, it's so amazing to me. Like I mean, I didn't officially grow up in New Mexico, but like we're right here in Lubbock, Texas. It's only like 5.5 hours away to get to where you're at, to Santa Fe. My family growing up had a house in Glorieta. My grandmother had a house in Glorieta.
Right down the road.
Yeah. Really pretty little encampment. It was a Baptist encampment, Kimberly. You would have loved it. Woo, baby.
I actually think they've been getting some action. Where'd she go? Sorry about that. I did that. See, I pushed the wrong button.
Well, and I'm still trying to figure out this whole
spring rain. Oh my God. We'd have to come up and visit you sometime up in by Yellowstone. I love Yellowstone.
Wow, that's where your ad is, in Yellowstone? That's badass. I'm going to have to look at oh, there's the comments. I can look at it over here. Okay. I'm going to try to face my...
You can see them?
Well, not from this platform, and I could last time, but I think it's maybe the browser I'm using. Anyway. It's all very simple and very complicated, apparently. Simply complicated is how I like to phrase that.
Simply
oh my goodness. And then the thing is I'm going to have these dang glasses to read any of the comments, probably. Oh, look at that. Now, what kind of luck?
They're all filthy.
What kind of luck is, well, they're filthy, number one.
Oh,
it looks like maybe
no. You
somebody
on your glasses?
on number two. Okay, maybe I can do that. Okay, let me see here.
We were planning on having a special live for Memorial Day, everybody.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about the Fort Bragg deaths that are happening at Fort Bragg. There's been about 113 non-combat deaths on Fort Bragg between January.
This pisses me right off.
And nobody's talking about it. There's one person talking about it, and his name is Seth Harp, and he is a Rolling Stone contributor.
Love him. I just thank him so much for what he's doing.
I wish
to
he would like
bring
answer
awareness.
my messages. He's not answering my messages because I want him to come on the show.
I
We
know,
might
and
not be big
I've tried to talk to him too. But yeah, have not gotten him to respond back to me. What I've said is thank you so much for mentioning Caleb in 2 of your articles about the Fort Bragg murders, and then the recap that he did just this last year. Um, I mean, it's such a blessing when we have people just take notice. And I
right.
mean, he really is stepping out there, um, in a very, you know, it's tumultuous out here. And I mean, when you start reporting on these non-combat deaths that you know the other media outlets don't report on because they're too, they're trying to be careful so they can keep their jobs, is honestly the honest to God truth, and get to keep their funding. Because if they start reporting
Right.
and commenting on these non-combat deaths, isn't that sad that they're going to lose funding because the DoD doesn't want to blemish on its image, and so America turns their back on us families who've
Yeah,
lost
the
our I don't even like to call us Gold Star families, because Gold Star families is a broad term for families that have lost their loved one to, um, you know, um, dying in the service. But what it really means is dying in combat. And they do call us Gold Star families, but they give us a different pin than the combat families. Um, and I don't know why we have to segregate ourselves like that, because it causes a lot of problems in our community and misunderstanding from the community. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like when you're sitting at a Gold Star function, and it's supposed to be there to pay gratitude to all of our service members, and they only talk about the combat deaths, and not one time do they mention non-combat deaths. Nobody will touch it with a 10-foot pole. And what's so sad is that you'll be sitting there, and your mayor from your town, from your city, will only talk about combat deaths. People, you can't get mad at everybody. People don't know. It,
Right.
it hurts
They
like
don't
hell, but
know.
people don't know that. I mean, that's why
Well,
that's why we started Locked and Loaded Diaries, is because the media wouldn't cover our stories. You
especially
know.
when the majority of military deaths are non-combat, we should definitely be talking about it. You've got like this small portion that's combat and then this huge portion that's non-combat, but Gold Star families don't want to talk about it. Your government doesn't want to talk about it. The military doesn't want to talk about it. Media doesn't want to talk about it. They're just like these accidents
So we're all over here
that
going,
people
"Hey,
feel that that's
well, hello, lovely human mermaid. I love you. Thank you for joining us, lovely lady 22."
we're kind of just shooting the
Yes,
shit
love and
today. We're
light to
not
you
really talking
guys.
about anything specific. Yeah.
That's right.
We just wanted to check in and say hi to everybody. We're both winding down. School is about to let out for the summer. We've
Oh
been
my
super
gosh.
busy with school and the podcast and trying to have a life.
And like all of this, like, is, you know, um, this is all out of the like desperation. Like we're like here, like, hello, we're here,
Well, like you said, we're
everyone.
peddling. We have to peddle these deaths. We have to peddle these
Those
stories.
That's what it feels like. When I went to CrimeCon last year, well, in 2020, I guess. Right? No, 2020. Was it 2021? Yeah.
You went to
It was
Austin in
2022.
2021.
Yeah. So Austin, the Austin one. I mean, I walked around with Caleb's jacket on it. In the back of my jacket, I had kind of put written this message, about non-combat desks, and like ask me how I know and stop, these non-combat deaths, and we Kimberly and we just stopped whoever would listen, and we didn't. we were there for a reason, for a purpose. But yeah, it felt like we, just peddling a story, and it's sad that it has to come to this, like the desperation of a mother to stand on base at Fort Hood and literally paint herself blue.
I love
It
that
was
picture.
my
That's an awesome
it,
picture.
it was my
I
sackcloth
took that
matches.
picture.
Here, I'm gonna try to. I don't know if I can flip my camera. Let's see. I don't think I can.
We did that
Oh,
at CrimeCon this year as well. We literally had to grab people
oh my
walking
gosh.
by our table to
Oh my
tell
gosh. I
them
can't. There it is.
what's going on. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to get a better view of that, but I'm failing.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes, yes.
I
Like,
think you can share your screen
oh,
and video files. You can share your screen, you can share slides, you can share video files. So we should keep that in mind for next time.
oh yeah. I'm gonna
So
have to.
Jeffrey Hutchinson said people don't realize what's going on. It gains traction for a short
Jeffrey.
period of time before it's swept back under the rug again. Right.
Yeah.
They're just like little news clips, all these deaths that are happening at such a high rate. And we're not even catching them all. Like Heather and I and Terry are like, we've got our fucking antennas on, like looking for non-combat deaths in the media on a daily basis, and we don't even catch them all because they're hidden
Well,
so well.
and they
Like
don't
the Fort
report.
Bragg
There's
death.
not like a national database for non-combat deaths, or is there? Because how does the how do they do congressional research and know that 25% of our service members die combat versus the non-combat? And by the way, they're all non-combat deaths now. But how does if they're not somehow keeping track of it, these deaths?
Right. They know the percentage. They know the percentages. So they've got a database.
They have to have a database, but why aren't they sharing that? They'll gladly share the combat deaths because those heroes, they're heroes. They are legit, and we love them and we appreciate what they did. But I was talking to a friend today who's like, if it's a combat or non-combat death, as long as it's on a military base, I'm like, well, but here's the deal. Sometimes, friendly fire is not always like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
It's not so friendly. It's not so friendly.
might not be so friendly.
Right. It's
How do you prove that that's
intentional. Right. There's a lot of intentional deaths.
So, I mean, it's almost like it's like there's just such a thin line between like saying you can't, adjudicate or whatever a death if it's in battle. But what if it's somebody legitly turning and shooting you right in the head? I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I guess it depends on the way the bullet hits and all of that, right? If there's burning,
right?
If there's burning of the skin, then usually it's like around the bullet hole. Then I understand that means that it's been shot closer range. because when the when the firearm discharges, it emits a blast of fire out of it. I don't know. I'm just like, wow.
Well, we're going to have some guests for our next up and coming episodes. We have 4 people scheduled for the next 3 weeks, and the stories are as different as they're so similar as the pattern of how the military responds to these deaths and how they treat the families.
Yeah, there's a common thread that runs through all of it. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. I was gonna hold on. There it is. Drive. It's called The Drive.
What is called The Drive?
I'm looking for a document, and I was trying to find it, and I guess it's on my drive. But now I'm thinking it's actually in my email. So, let's see here.
So, that's February. I'm trying to buy some more data on my internet right now because we're having technical difficulties because my internet sucks because I live out in the middle of the nowhere and it's satellite. I need to get some internet from good old Elon Musk so I can have it everywhere I go.
Ooh, Elon Musk. I just totally heard about him in the news being associated with Johnny Depp's wild and crazy ex-wife. Apparently they were dating.
Are you watching that?
Oh yeah, I'm totally watching it. I'm watching it because
I'm trying not to watch it.
I can't help myself, you guys. She is.
I know. Well,
crazy.
Well, they're both fucking crazy. They both are. It sounds like a really unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
Hi, Blessings. I almost think that the whole thing is intentional.
Crazy. Who knows?
I think this is like entertainment. It's a form of entertainment, and they're making money off of us watching the trial. It's like a movie with 2 actors in it, so we don't know.
I mean, there's
what they're saying and how they're feeling is real.
All kinds of stuff out there. No idea. Organize and drive. I'm trying. Okay, my drive. Aha! There it is. Okay.
I cannot log into my internet and get more data.
The Hall of Justice. Can I read you
what
the
are you
bill
looking?
that we're proposing?
What are you talking?
Can I read you the bill that we're proposing to Congress?
Yeah, why don't you introduce it to everybody really quick?
I will. So and
I'll work on getting us some more data.
Myself, along with 8 other moms who, military families who've lost their service members to non-combat. We believe there's injustices attached to these non-combat deaths by evidence of our CID investigations and etc. And some of these families are walking through it firsthand right now and they're trying to bamboozle them. The military is, and we're more than 9, but right now, what we're requesting is that we be given a hearing. Several of the people that we have interviewed, actually, Christiana Sweetwood and Gloria, the three of us are on this proposal, along with, like I said, there's a total of 9 of us, and counting. We have more mothers that are signing, but we're trying to work out how to work together as a team right now. It's just a lot of people to come together. But what we've done is we've requested a hearing, and we believe that if we come in numbers, so we come in a mass, then maybe they will give us the time of day, because they don't seem to be giving anybody the time of day.
Not these onesies and twosies.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
mean,
what, yeah, they're going to Congress in onesies and twosies and they're not taking them seriously. But if you guys show up in a group of 50,
yeah. So we're working on,
I think that's doable.
well, I think it is if everybody will jump on board, but just like anything else, there's drama attached to things. But here's the proposal that what we're requesting is this bill. We call it the Hall of Justice, and it's a bill that was written by Manuel Gomez. He's a private investigator out of New York. He's a little bit controversial. A lot of people, I've had people contact me trying to, I guess, warn me away from him. And when people start doing that, I kind of go, okay, we're getting closer.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we're getting closer to
Yeah.
death.
Start making
Because
people
the flies and
uncomfortable.
mosquitoes
Yeah.
are coming out. And I feel really good about this, and the other families I'm working with feel good about this. He's he's kind of a wild man, kind of like me. I'm a wild woman. We call BS where we see it. And he's not taking advantage of us. I can't tell, because people are like, oh, he's taking advantage of you. Well, here's the deal. This is how I believe. If he's written this amazing bill that I'm going to read here in a minute. It's incredible. And he needed somebody to stand behind it, and we're like the perfect people to stand behind it and say yes to this. Is he going to get credit for writing the bill? Well, hell yeah, he is, because he wrote it. People, come on.
Right.
Like,
people get caught up in.
Can he be proud of himself and have a little bit of an ego about it? Why not? I mean, he wrote it.
As long as shit's getting done.
He doesn't have an ego about it. He's very humble about it, and he talks about us being his heroes. He calls us his heroes. These families, and to me, he's a hero because he's actually taking notice, giving a shit, and doing something about it. I don't see anybody else coming to our rescue or coming to our aid. Everybody else turns their back on us. He's not asked for one penny from any of us. If he gets, if he writes a book about this and what have you, whatever. Okay, so he took the time to write a book about it.
Right.
I don't care about people taking credit where credit is due. Now if somebody's just going to write about Caleb and not talk to me about it or ask about it, or whatever, then that's a little disrespectful, I think. If they're going to, wouldn't you want my input? Wouldn't you want my theories and things like that? Wouldn't you want to interview me? Involve me? Well, he's involving us. Of course. Why wouldn't he? This is a federal proposal by private investigator Manuel Gomez, and we are backing it. We families, it would be insane for us not to. What a blessing this man is. And I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for his encouragement. Like to me, he's a Valkyrie angel that just swooped down and said, "Here I am to drive in up the middle while you ladies hit the Leviathan from all the other directions." And that's how you destroy an enemy, by the way. You hit
As
it
you
from
flank,
many,
you flank them.
multiple, you know,
Yeah.
locations. And he's going to drive it home up the middle with the truth because he has the experience. He's like 18th Airborne, blah, 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 blah. You know, I'll let him tell you about him. But
Special
this is the mission
forces.
statement. Yeah, special forces. Like he's a combat veteran. Like like the real deal. Combat.
Yeah, he's exactly the person who needs to be like doing this work. Is we need
Exactly.
veterans. We
And we've
need
had
the help and support of veterans.
we do. We need you guys to step up and speak out about all this, and especially since you know the inside scoop. And you can call bullshit on some of the stuff that we as families we're learning the terminology, we're learning how the whole hierarchy works, all of that. So this is the mission statement. The Hall of Justice is an independent federal agency. It is not part of the military, federal courts, law enforcement agencies, district attorneys, nor the Department of Corrections. So I can kind of see how this would like help a lot of people, not just military. The Hall of
Right, anybody.
Justice, people in law enforcement, right? Families that have heroes in law enforcement. The Hall of Justice is empowered to receive complaints of corruption, investigate, make findings, conduct administrative trials, and enforce discipline on any position or rank within the military, federal law enforcement agencies, district attorneys' offices, the Department of Corrections, and the federal judges. So, guys, do you see how this bill already could help not just people in military, but could help all of our civilian families as well? Hall of Justice administrative trials will be conducted by judges who are not affiliated or influenced by the military, federal courts, nor state departments. Hall of Justice investigations will be conducted in an impartial fashion by the investigative staff, which is entirely composed of civilian employees who have security clearances. He goes to list the way the infrastructure will work. With a commissioner of the DOCJ. It's a 2-term limit. Then there is the director of investigations. There's the deputy commission. And then there is the director of operations and human resources. So under the director of investigations, you'll have the head supervisor in charge of 5 investigative supervisors. And then from there, it's 75 investigators with top secret clearance and sensitive compartmented item clearance. 8 intake specialists and interview rooms with audio and video recording capability. And 4 intake complaint rooms. Okay. I mean, he's getting down to the nitty gritty. He's like, no more of this bullshit. Director of trials and judicial operations must be a judge. There'll be 4 trial rooms, 5 judges, 10 trial prosecutors, 6 court reporters, 5 attorneys will be assigned as investigators to investigate judges for judicial misconduct. Guys, do you see how it's so important that you guys support us right now? Because this is going to help everybody. Director of Operations and Human Resources. Law Library, responsible for all legal updates and keeping all updated military, federal, and state agencies department procedure guides for investigations. And then the Information Technology Department recovers video, data from all hard drives and phones for investigations.
This
Also,
is a tall
protects
fucking
Hall of
mountain to
Justice
climb.
data systems. What's that? Sorry.
It's a really tall mountain to climb. Like, people
Yeah.
are going to be really resistant to this in the government.
Well, I'm sure. But
But
I
I'm
mean,
not saying like
for
don't do it because it's too hard. I'm just
look at
saying
the
we're going to have a
corruption
fight.
all across our land. Look at the corruption all across our land.
Yeah.
We got to start talking about it somewhere.
Right.
I mean, it's a good plan. This is amazing. I mean, are they going to want to touch the Ferris Doctrine? Are they going to touch anything? No, they don't want to touch any of it. It's too much energy. It takes too much energy, and they say it will bankrupt our government. Well, maybe. Here's the deal. If we don't hold leadership accountable, and the way we hold people accountable in this country is through by monetary means and judicial punishment. And those like the judicial punishment could mean like both of those things, jail time and having to pay fines and all of that. And none of us families are asking for anything. We just want it to stop. We want the bleeding to stop.
Right.
So this is such a great bill because think about all the police out there that we've got that, that, you may have families that have been killed in the same similar situations with no justice. I mean, this is so the function.
It's rare to hear those stories.
What's that?
It's rare to hear those stories, like police officers dying by, corrupt means within the system.
Yeah. The system makes it look like they're shiny and
everything's good in the military.
Everybody's fine.
Good. Yeah. Nobody's dying on the front lines here in America. We're good. Military has their shit together, which they don't.
So here's the functions. This is interesting. Federal proposal, again by Manuel Gomez, and we mothers are backing up this proposal. This is a really great one, a great bill. I think it's amazing. The functions. Number 1, complaints may be made by any person, soldier, or law enforcement personnel, whether or not that person is a victim of or witness to an incident or corruption. Complaints can be made without fear of retaliation. Number 2, the Hall of Justice will investigate corruption, misconduct, make findings, conduct administrative trials, and enforce discipline on any person in rank of the military, federal judges, law enforcement agencies, district attorney's office, and the Department of Corrections. Hey, it's going to focus people and hopefully make them go, well, maybe it's not worth, killing this guy over here. Maybe I'll learn to deal with my anger. I don't know.
That's why you go to the gym.
Yeah.
So you get that shit out at the gym.
Yeah, that's why you go to the shooting range.
Exactly.
So the Hall of Justice will have the ability to secure a subpoena if need to retrieve evidence to conduct a thorough investigation. And that's the thing, is that these investigations are a joke. The CID investigations, the 15-6 investigations, where the command uh,
Investigates themselves.
investigates themselves, and the
Usually have like the
CID works with the
executive,
command.
usually have like a captain or something or a lieutenant, an executive officer doing the investigations. Probably like in the same battalion, but a different company will investigate another company under the same battalion. So they
Right.
all work under the same
It
leadership,
exactly.
so
It's
they're
still the
covering
same
each other's
leadership.
ass. Because if one guy gets in trouble, guess who else gets in trouble? Everybody up the chain. So if that company commander has a death in his company, then the battalion commander is going to get shit for that. It just goes up. The brigade, it just keeps going up. So they don't want any marks on that. That's marks on their career,
Yeah,
and helps
supposedly.
them, right. Yeah, but it's not. They're
You
just
know,
fine. Their career is going just fine, and they're retaring with
yeah,
benefits, even
retiring with
after
benefit.
having multiple deaths in Second BCT at the 82nd Airborne.
Oh
Somebody there,
my gosh. Yeah, I really want
somebody
to go
there.
through.
Yeah, let's go there.
I want to go through that list. What was it? 119 deaths and from
Yeah,
2021 to 2022, non-combat
yeah,
deaths
for 1 year. Yeah.
for 1 year. 119 non-combat deaths on base at Fort Bragg. They have nothing to brag about, by the way. Absolutely nothing. And they don't know how to cook lobster tail.
Nobody in the army knows how to cook a lobster tail. You get that thing, it is like so dry and just like hard. You gotta just
if
like
I
drench
had
it.
been if I had been Colonel Otan, I would have been embarrassed to have bring a family down that line and say, here's our best
That's what we
day.
get on Christmas. That's what we get on Christmas and Thanksgiving. Is that's what we get.
Here's an eraser for your mouth. With some butter. With some parquet. We don't even have real butter. We got some parquet though for you. Some
I'm gonna
chemical
bring up
butter.
Twitter right now. If you all are on Twitter, there's a
Sorry, I'm
Rolling Stones.
overlapping on purpose.
Uh, there's if you're on Twitter, there is a Rolling Stones investigative journalist named Seth Harp, and
Yes.
he's posting all these Fort Bragg deaths, and it's like crickets. Nobody. Yeah, Fort Bragg alone in from January 2021 to 2022. So what's happening on the other bases that we're not hearing about? And what the fuck is happening on Fort Bragg? A lot of people are saying that it's fentanyl related, but we don't know.
Oh, dang. Well, think about how many deaths we have heard about and how many we haven't heard about, Kimberly. Like, we've heard about like 1% of these deaths. Seriously.
Right.
I mean,
I'm going to
or
bring him
I
up
mean,
right
like
now.
I'm looking at these names off of if you want to see this, it's on our Locked and Loaded Diaries Facebook page. Eventually, we'll be able to. I'm not sure if we can do that yet here.
What,
Let
share
people know.
stuff?
Yeah. Pardon me. I know that we
Um,
should be able to. Um,
Let me see.
I think they call it
Let me
a
see.
like a message board or something like that on our YouTube channel.
You can share
Um,
slides from your computer. You can do
so
a
they
video
set it.
file and you can share your screen.
So we can do that now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to try to share my screen here in a second.
Okay.
Uh,
Let me see. Um, Oh, I'm gonna hold on. Love this song. Oh my goodness. There it is.
I don't know how to get there. Locked and loaded diaries.
Thank you all so much for joining us this evening for our Stressed and Sexy support group. Oh, it's so nice to see you.
What are you listening to?
When we last met, I asked you guys to put
Hold
something that
on.
makes you feel. Would you honor us by being?
I love this song. I'm trying to play the song. Yeah, I just love this song, you guys.
It's that bitch o'clock, yeah, it's thick 30. I've been through a lot, but I'm still flirty. Is everybody back up in the building? It's been a minute, tell me how you feeling. Cause I'm about to get into my feelings. How you feeling? How you feel right now? Oh, I've been so down and under pressure.
Yeah?
I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah. Oh, I'm not the girl I was or used to be. Bitch, I might be down.
Okay.
Turn up the music. Turn down
You
the
sit down.
I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright. Okay. Alright. It's about damn time. Turn up the music.
The dog. Did you just show your dog?
Yeah. See, he jumped in my lap.
Hey, y'all, I'm sharing a screen with the Fort Bragg names. Can you see it?
Way too much. I'ma need like 2 shots in my cup. Wanna get up, wanna get down. That's how I feel right now.
Sometimes you have to pump yourself up.
This is not Bruno Mars. Okay, there we go.
Oh, there it goes, Kimberly.
There's the name. That's a list of all the Fort Bragg names.
There we go.
Can you
There we
zoom
go.
in on that? Yeah.
Can you guys see it?
That's the list. Yeah, there's 100 and technically there's 113. 4 of them were overseas fatalities, but all of those names are soldiers on Fort Bragg who died between January 2021 and January 2022. And I believe Seth Harp is requesting the FOIAs on these deaths, but you know that those don't
That's a
mean shit.
lot of work, man. Like this man,
He's doing the work. He's doing the work.
Hey, he did look at my message. At least he looked at it. He knows I'm out
On
there.
Facebook?
And well, I
He knows
messaged
you're out
him.
there.
Yeah, I guess I did message him on Facebook. But I mean, I'm sure he's just covered up with all kinds.
Well, he's been covering the Ukraine war. He's actually been over in the Ukraine.
See, there you go.
Doing that, and he said that the media is extremely controlled over there. The media cannot get over to the battle zone. They're like herded, and they're only able to talk to certain people. There's like no freedom for media coverage over at the in the Ukraine.
Wow.
So what's happening, what we're seeing on the media is only what the government is allowing us to see as far as the Ukraine war.
Yeah, that's scary to keep
Isn't it?
information from all of us. It really is.
That's what the government does. It keeps information from America. Look at Caleb's on the list.
Oh, that makes me sick. That makes my heart break.
I'm sorry.
That really does. That's so sad.
Yeah, we're living in a nation where the government controls what we're gonna see and hear on the media, believe it or not. And We're not important. We're just the worker bees. We work so that corporations make money. Um, they keep us sick. Uh, they keep they feed us with pharmaceuticals and shitty healthcare. Um, I just don't think the government has our best interests at heart. And just like Heather has said before, that how they treat our service members is just a reflection of uh,
It's the
what
yeah,
is it that
it's
you say, Heather?
the way that we take care of our service members and the way we treat them is kind of a barometer for the state of our nation. It's the litmus test of how we're all doing as a nation. And people would have you believe it's all hunky dory. And, you know,
Well, that's because they keep us occupied
and that
with
we
the
should be
consumption.
like
They keep
somehow
us occupied with.
grateful that our sons and daughters that have died under these negligent circumstances died in the military. Like they make it sound like it's like I should be grateful. Like what the hell is wrong with this picture? Oh my lord. I know there's a way for us to be able to do a like a message board, but it's I'm not seeing it pop up on our.
So I'm bringing up Seth Harp's profile on Twitter. He is an investigative reporter for Rolling Stone. He's also an Iraq war veteran. Um, if you did not know that.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
pretty awesome
and
that he's
mostly
doing
what's
that.
on his Twitter page. Mostly what's on his Twitter page are the Ukraine war and Fort Bragg soldiers. There we go.
I wonder what his
Look at these
special
three guys.
qualifications. Oh God.
32 years old. Died on base. These are like high ranking guys, too. Sergeant First Class, 38 years old, Special Forces. A major, 38 years old. How are these guys dying on post? Hold on. He's got more pictures.
Yeah, we want to know the details behind it all. And
Here's some younger guys.
are these families looking for all the rest
I
of
think
the
we need to
family?
find I think we need to find the families. I think we need to reach
PFC,
out to these.
Matthew Joseph Disney,
Yeah.
Anthony Marcus Savala.
Savala, I think Anthony Marcus Savala died over in Syria last February.
And
Look at these
that doesn't mean
kids who are
he died
dying in
like
soil.
what's that?
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't
just
know
thinking
how he died.
I was just
Everything's
thinking
under
about
investigation.
okay, well.
You know how that goes.
Oh
Everything's
yeah, I
under
do.
fucking investigation.
Uh-huh.
Look at these guys. Sergeant First Class. Sergeant First Class.
You know, the reason why
I
it
mean,
takes them so long to investigate is because they're investigating themselves. And so like for instance, you know, it took me 9 months about to get Caleb's autopsy, and then about that same amount of time, um, probably a couple more months later, I got, you know, the CID investigation, and then they withheld all the rest of the investigations from me until they came to me and handed me the final review here in Lubbock.
which was a
And
PowerPoint slideshow in a binder.
mm-hmm. Actually, I don't think I. No, I no, nope. They That's right. I didn't get the CID investigation or any of that until after the command did that, because I didn't read the CID investigation until after those guys had left. And they do it that way strategically so that you don't have more questions. But there was already enough questions that I had at that time. It took up a lot of time. I remember Kimberly was sitting right next to me. And
Fine.
Colonel Owen, yeah, Colonel Owen would not answer your question.
Yeah, I kept asking, where's the platoon sergeant? Where's the first sergeant during all this? Because they are the ones that are supposed to be policing up troops. But we hear nothing about no NCOs. He just ignored me. He didn't even fucking look at me.
He did not even answer her. Not kidding, you guys. I'm not kidding.
And that dude was a flirt, too. He was flirting before and after that 4 hour, I don't even know what to call it, meeting. You were giving him a tongue lashing is what was going on.
Well, yeah. And then we did this, like, I don't know. Here's the deal. I'm a hugger, and I've always hugged people that kicked in, and I was hugging everybody as they were leaving, and I hugged him. Just more like a, okay, thank you, nice, blah, 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 you know? And he held me right here in this embrace. And he was whispering in my ear. I don't know what he was whispering, because I was so freaked out that he wouldn't let me go. I kept trying to, like, break his embrace, like, you know, not like aggressively, but like, you know, if I were to hug you, Kimberly, and you were like, hugs over, then I would know that, right? I was giving him the hugs over, like, okay. And I was kind of pulling away, and he would, each time I would try to pull away, his hand would, like, hold me there, like pull me back. Ew.
He's a creep.
Ew. And the JAG lawyer? Remember the JAG lawyer?
She was on her phone the whole time.
She was on her phone the whole time.
She had somewhere to go.
She had some place to be to after this final review. I mean, we're sitting in my congressman's office, you guys. And she's on her phone. And then she's getting real sassy with me, because I'm like, I just asked for everybody's name. I was writing everybody's name down. Everybody knows who I am. I'm Heather Baker. Duh. I don't know who everybody is that has come to see me. And I was writing their names down, and she was getting sassy with me and being like, kind of making it sound like I was being disrespectful to her. Like, you know, if you'll just let me finish. She said, if you'll just let me finish, then I'll tell you my name.
That's that military. That's that military officer mentality. Some of them really let it get to their heads.
I was like,
and especially if you're as a JAG lawyer.
I said, go ahead. Dang, man, I couldn't believe that she talked to me like that. And then as soon as I said, okay, the meeting is over, she goes, yes, maybe I can make it to my plane or my flight on time.
You should have just fucking kicked her ass.
She exclaimed that in front of everybody. And there was a general that was on, remember, on the phone? She's the, like, liaison between the Army and the congressional, like, liaison. And after this JAG lawyer spouted out and said, well, maybe I can make it to my flight on time, this woman said that was hearing this whole thing on the phone. She goes, "Well, Miss Baker, this is the most, thank you for letting me be here. And this was the most important thing that I had planned to do today." So she basically was kicking that JAG lawyer in the teeth. Like, like I couldn't believe how disrespectful she was. No matter how we react as families, they should really, if there are, the trained professionals that they need to just like take it. Honestly, our children are dead. How else are we supposed to react? And I have never reacted badly. Kimberly, how I acted in that meeting.
Yeah, you're a very polite Texas, Jesus loving girl.
Yet, Jesus loving girl. Yet, I've been, I've had a lot of people come to me and say, when you go to Congress, you have to be really careful what you say and how you say it. And I'm like, what do people think that I'm going to do? Like, go ape shit in front of Congress? Like, there's a reason that my congressman works with me and he's not afraid of me because I'm not crazy. I'm not acting a fool and, making a scene or anything like that.
That's up to me.
That's
up to me.
That's your job. No, your job is to sit there.
I don't want to get in fights with strangers on the internet.
Yeah, when she's sitting next to me in front of Colonel Owen, she's bawling. I look over at Kimberly, and I'm like, I got finished saying what I had to say, and then I look over at Kimberly, and I'm like, right, Kimberly? I look at Kimberly, and she's just got tears running down her face. But I mean,
I was supposed to be her military.
Why wouldn't you have tears? Like, honestly,
right.
They
it was
to get
extremely emotional. That was very emotional. I mean, your brother-in-law was sitting right next to me and he was crying. Big, tough Texan guy. We're both crying and you're the one who's like tough as nails, pretty much telling all these military army officers with all their fruit salad on their Class A's, as you would say.
All that dang fruit salad they think they're so damn proud of.
You were giving them a tongue lashing. You said, "Is this good enough for your child?"
That's right. I did. I said, if this is what you can, is it this, if this is good enough for Caleb, then this is good enough for your child.
Right. Because they're all saying we're giving these kids the best medical care that the Army or the Navy or the Marines or the Air Force can offer, but these kids are dying. So you're pretty much telling us the quality of your health care is shit.
Well, they're not accrediting their nursing and doctor staff properly.
So they're just
something like
a degree
1 out of
and then
9 is accredited or not accredited. I'll have to go back and look at that research, but I think I have it on my website, calebsmither.com. Yeah, I mean,
Heather, I just pulled up this page from May 2nd on Twitter, and it talks about Caleb.
Oh my gosh, it says the deaths began in January 2020 when 19-year-old Texan's body was discovered in his bunk in an advanced state of decomposition. That was Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
The Army has not disclosed the cause, and 1 year later, investigation remains ongoing. You see, I'm not lying whenever I say they actually, I was lying a while ago when I said they gave me the investigation and 9 months later. Sorry. That was the autopsy. They gave me the autopsy at 9 months. And then, yeah, after a year, his investigation was still ongoing. It was over a year. And I'll never forget having to ask off for work to go to that final review. The same is true in the case of young Ohio and Green Beret candidate who in March was found unresponsive in his barracks. I want to
Roman
know who that
Martinez.
is. Oh, wait,
That's Roman
Ohio
Martinez.
and Green Beret. Okay.
Oh
No,
no, I don't know who that
that's
is.
a different person. I don't know who that is. I want to know who that is. But in May,
I'll look it up.
late May, a 21-year-old enlisted man from California was killed, beheaded, in fact. Yeah, that's all they found was his head. And
nobody knows what's happened. And he went camping with like 7 other soldiers. Nobody knows what happened to the guy. He got beheaded.
Everybody's
Nobody's being
like,
held accountable.
oh, yay, they indicted them. No, they did not. They were only holding them responsible for the drugs that they were taking that weekend.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Nobody
And
has
lying
been
to
held
leadership.
accountable. Yeah, I mean,
No, not for his murder.
no.
One of those kids knows what happened to that kid.
Of course they do. They all do. While on a camping trip with 6 of his fellow paratroopers. Once again, no arrests have been made in this case. In November, yet another soldier, 24 years old, Texan, was discovered unresponsive in a bunk. With no further details from the Army. Of course not. That would mean that they would have to actually unredact something and hold somebody accountable. By the end of the year, there had been 21 suicides at Fort Bragg, more than at any other U.S. military post. I think every single time I think of a suicide, I think about Brandon Caserta. And I also think about Lavina Johnson. Because you know what? They said Lavina shot herself with a long gun. Are you kidding me, Kimberly? How is that possible? Especially when there was proof that her vagina had some chemical put into it.
Corrosive liquid.
Corrosive liquid. Thank you. And what was that supposed to cover up?
Her teeth were knocked in. Her eye socket was punched in. Her face, she was like brutalized.
Her jaw was dislocated completely.
Sexually assaulted. Mm-hmm. Her clothes were on after this corrosive liquid was poured into her vagina and on her hands. And they say she killed herself. But her N16 was like 30 feet across the tent. And the tent was on fire. So she lit the tent on fire, killed herself.
They're such bad liars.
Right.
They can't cover
but if they can
up
get away with it, they got away with it. They got away with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. They got away with it for sure.
Okay. So April 15th, Seth Harp was filing a FOIA lawsuit when the U.S. Army began turning over Fort Bragg casualty reports from 2021. They weren't going to turn them over to him, and he started a lawsuit, and then they all of a sudden decided that they were going to hand him over.
He's a badass.
He is, and we need him to get on the show.
I want to meet
because he's doing the work.
Seth Harp, we love you.
Please come talk to us.
Please. I want to thank you for what you're doing for all of us families and bringing attention. You know, I mean, God bless.
He said active duty soldiers continue to die at a rate of 1 per week in January 2022. Undetermined causes. Here's some casualty reports.
Undetermined
always causes. Pending.
Yeah, pending
That's
for
an
years.
E-Season right there.
Pending for years and for years and for years. And they just fade away into the ether, you know, like this mass bamboozling, you know. What is it, like the Star Wars, you know? These are not the droids you've been looking for. I'm not
Right?
Heather
Nothing
Baker.
to see here.
You are not Kimberly Walker. We have committed heinous acts of violence to all of our, you know, like, oh my God, we're not going to be holding anybody responsible.
So some people say that a lot of these deaths are the results of the COVID vaccine. What do you think about that?
I mean, I honestly, Kimberly, I think that it's another way to explain away these deaths. I think we'd have to really look at each one of these cases for there to be
Yeah,
any truth behind
right.
it. Because, like, it, I mean, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I think that there was more deaths even on, I mean, on those bases when COVID hit because, God, I mean, these guys and gals had a lot of time on their hands and they had to be in, you know, their barracks. And so I think it's possible
Are
that a
they
lot of
doing
crazy things happened during that time. And maybe they're like, well, I don't know. It's just, it seems like utter pandemonium. And gosh, COVID, what a gut punch, you know, to
this
everybody.
guy? Right. It
Yeah, there's a
traumatized
lot of
the
speculation.
world.
Yeah, I mean, there's
This
just a lot
guy
of
was found dead in his car, and he's a major. This guy is
found
a
dead in his car,
U.S.
huh?
Army officer major. Yeah, found dead in his
Interesting.
car. Pronounced dead at Womack Army Medical Center.
Oh, God bless. I hate that
And
name.
the cause of
Womack
death
Army
was not
Medical Center.
released.
Losers, they turned my son away. They caused his death, and they're still all working there. Nobody was held
I wonder
accountable.
if
Not one single
I wonder if
person.
this guy was at the Ranger Regiment at Fort Benning the same time me and my husband were there. I wonder if he knows him.
Mm, yeah. You gonna reach out to
My ex.
your
He's in
ex?
I think he's in Europe right now. He's supporting the NATO mission over there.
Have you talked to him about any of this? Like, I'm just curious to see what he might say
No, he
about any of it.
yeah, I need to talk. I we text, but I need to like talk to him cuz I would like cuz he's a ranger. He's
Yeah,
got to have seen shit, but I don't think he'll tell me.
probably not.
I don't think he'll tell his crazy ex-wife.
It's crazy. I mean, these guys are like locked down as far as what they're gonna be able to or what they're gonna say. You know, I mean,
Right.
everybody's afraid of their own. You know, they're afraid for their own self. Look, guys, I'll die for this cause. I'm not afraid. But you know what
Right.
amazes me is we
Exact
have a
like just
lot of
like
people that are in the military right now. They care. They really do care more about their careers than about what's really right and just. And so, if you're not going to stand up
just
and
what
speak
Seth
up, then
says,
to me,
get
that's
the
just as
fuck out of the
bad.
military. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of the military.
What is that saying about this one?
It says right here. The brass is sitting comfortable in the knowledge that they can mislead the mainstream press with the falsehoods like this, and they'll just print it with no attempt to dig any deeper. Just
Thank you, Seth Harp. It's
he's
like
the only
such
one
a.
doing the work out there.
Hey, would you like to hear what I wrote this earlier today? Actually,
Sure.
it was a conversation I had with another Army wife, Melissa.
Yep. Are you frozen? I think you're frozen. Heather.
Are you there?
Yeah, I think you were frozen there for a second. Can you repeat yourself?
Yes. I was just saying that I was talking to another Army wife today, Melissa Godoy, and we were just talking about officers. I wrote this post because, man, I give these guys hell. I don't mind because this is the exact unit, brigade, all that Caleb died in. These are the people that are actually responsible, and I'm talking directly to them. And I said that these officers are killing our enlisted, and they are protected. No more protection for officers. If they get someone killed or have a non-combat death under their watch, they need to be relieved of command and kicked out. I'm tired of people having non-judicial punishments and getting to keep all their benefits when there's death involved. And it's
Right. This
because of their
isn't
bad leadership. No benefits. They shouldn't be given any benefits. Their retirement. Do you think
nice.
I, as a teacher, would get that?
Oh hell no!
If I was negligent,
Civilians get held accountable for deaths
they
under
would
their
burn
watch.
me to the stake like a witch.
You have like a safety incident at Home Depot, OSHA will fucking fire you before somebody even gets hurt just because you're,
Yeah,
careless.
this is a human life. You don't get paid for negligence. I'm sure these officers would stop taking. I'm sure these officers would stop taking cute selfies and pay attention to what the fuck they're going to, if if they were actually held accountable. So they're the ones that enforce the military system, the officers. They are in charge of the system. Enlisted complaints to them, and they get shot down by toxic officers. That needs to stop. They investigate, they enforce, punish, and now they need to be kicked out. And I couldn't help but tag the 37th Brigade Engineer Battalion in that one.
You have to include the senior NCOs, Heather, because they're part of the system too.
Okay, and
these first sergeants, the sergeant majors, they are the senior enlisted advisors to these officers.
Yes, I kind of
and we don't hear a peep out of them.
Yeah.
So we talked about this, whoever the fucking sergeant major is over at Fort Bragg, how come we're not hearing nothing, not a peep? And these are his troops. He's the sergeant major. He is the senior enlisted person to all these enlisted soldiers. He's the one who should give a shit. But his career's at stake too. That's all it is. Everybody's just covering up for their careers. They're so fucking obsessed with 20-year pension. I left the Army at 17 years. I said, fuck my pension, I'm out. If you can't survive outside the military and it's all about your pension, that's pretty lame. It just kind of shows me that you're not capable of shit outside the military. That's the only way. Well, they've got the power, they've got the rank. That power's, hard to let go of.
So here's a comment underneath my post from my mom. She says, "My son Steven's command was toxic. After his death, we found out through the Army's investigation that he was bullied and worse through his unit commander and chain of command. So he was bullied by his unit commander and his chain of command. The unit commander
Who's
didn't
that?
even have the. Her name is Kathy Colley, Colley. I just messaged her and I said I'm eager to hear more.
Yeah.
She said the unit commander didn't even have the decency to call us with fake words of condolences for our profound loss of our son. Nothing happened to
Wow.
this commander who made his life a living hell." It reminds me of Brandon Caserta's leadership over there in Navy land.
Yeah, these guys don't fucking call families anymore.
Oh no, I had to actually call Caleb's command myself. I made first contact with Caleb's command.
That's when you know it was a wrongful death.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's a wrongful death. If they won't call you and give their condolences because they're shameful, they're shamed. They feel shame. Trying to find
It's unbelievable what we've all been through in different ways. But I mean, I'm thinking about like the things that I found out after the fact about Caleb's death when I went over there to Fort Bragg. And they're acting like everything was great. That, I mean, they wined and dined us. Them tried to pull out their best stops. Of course, the casualty assistance officer that I had, he that I had over there, not my one from Fort Hood, which actually he's a badass, and you met him, Kimberly.
who's that?
My casualty assistance officer, Fellaswang.
Oh,
Sergeant Fellaswang.
Did I meet him?
Yes, he was sitting
I don't
next
think
to
I
me.
met him.
Well, yes, you did, girl. Sergeant Fellaswang. He was sitting right next to me in the boardroom
During the
yeah. He was on
oh my
our
God.
side of the table. Yes.
Okay. That's great.
You met. Yeah, you met him. But
okay,
so he's great. But what I'm saying is that the guy they gave me at Fort Bragg, because they wouldn't let me take my casualty assistance officer with me to Caleb's memorial. They assigned another guy over there to be the stand-in casualty assistance officer. Well, that dude forgot to pick us up to take us to the airport when we were leaving to go back to Lubbock. He got drunk and passed out in the van that he was transporting us in.
Wow.
He's actually one of the guys that found Caleb. I found out.
What?
Uh-huh. I found this out after I was told.
That's why I got drunk.
I'm not going to say who it was.
Why not?
Because I want to protect this person. I don't want to get this person in trouble.
Who was this guy? Who was this guy that apparently found Caleb?
The same guy that was driving us around base. And that was my casualty assistance officer at Fort Bragg. And I found out that he found Caleb, but I didn't find this out until 2 years later, right?
What was his name?
Holloway. Sergeant Holloway. And he would call me. He would call me drunk all the time too. After the fact to check on me. All they were doing was
Probably.
keeping tabs on me.
Right, right. That's why he was the driver.
Well, and he got blasted and drunk and forgot to pick us up, take us to the airport on our way out. Our flight, we had to be up like at 6 o'clock in the morning and on the road. And I kept texting him and calling him and texting him and calling him. Or like, I don't know where he is, you know. And finally, this other kid that was actually, there was 2 vans that they had rented to transport us in. And so Holloway took one of them with us in, and then another young man drove a different one and had the other part of my family in it. And he came and he rescued us. But no, and I didn't ever say anything to the command that he had done that.
Wow.
Because I didn't want him to get in trouble, but I see how even my actions, not reporting that, see, I mean,
Look at the bottom of the screen. Look at what I did.
okay. Whoa, non-combat deaths on U.S. soil are being ignored by mainstream media. Exactly. That's the truth, sadly. Well, hi, Bonnie. How are you? What did Lakota say? Goodness, Z, that was a good one. She's like,
Take it off.
shaking it off, man. Violently shaking it off. Oh, there's Lakota. Okay. Princess. I was talking to my aunt. Her son is in the army. I was talking about your page. She says people are scared or feel powerless, so they don't want to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
so
it's so much.
it's too much. People turn
It's
their back on it.
overwhelming.
They don't know what to say to people that have the kind of grief that we have anyway. And then they go, basically, you just need to get over it. Like, there's nothing
Move
that we can
on.
do about it anyway. So crazy.
Well, we could
And
like not say anything and just go on with our lives and
yeah.
just
Well,
live with blinders on.
you're amazing, Kimberly, because you have not done that. And there's a lot of people that, like, you could, you know, this is a hard fight. And you stick here with
I
us.
almost quit.
Like,
I almost
you are,
quit
you're
a couple of times.
well, I mean, you know, I mean, it's hard to stay in the fight. We have to stay in the fight.
Right.
I mean, me and Terry, like all the parent families, we have to stay in the fight. And I know that you kind of picked up a moral like banner and said like a no, kind of like Manuel Gomez, you know, him being a veteran and doing what he's doing for all of us families. Like just calling bullshit. Like, I mean, and I feel like more veterans, they do have a responsibility to do what you guys are doing for all of us to say, yeah, this is not right. And the reason I know it's right is because I was in the military for umpteen years, you know, and I know what's right. But we need more people like you guys to stand up because people do. It's overwhelming and they turn a blind eye. Don't want to mention any names, but it's just my family doesn't know how to handle it either. They don't know how to handle it and they don't realize the kind of support that I need. Isn't just give me prayers, send me prayers. You know, everybody leaves once the funeral is over. You know, and I'm left to organize and order his memorial and all of that. I had to ask for help to do that for my family. And I was like, you guys, I have to have somebody to help me order this memorial. Like I couldn't, I had to have my sister Holly like walk in the funeral home with me. Like I'd already like had the idea of what I wanted, but I just needed like somebody else's seal of approval on it from the family. Cause like I'm freaking out, like doing this. I need somebody to sit next to me, you know? Like I need people to sit next to me when I read these investigations. This is not, for the faint of heart. And let me tell you, when I read that they were spraying Febreze to cover up the smell of Caleb's dead body, I had one of my best friends in the room with me. We read the CID investigation. It took us 10 hours from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the morning. Because there was so much investigating going on during that time. Like I hit the ground running. As soon as I started reading these things, I was looking up information about different kinds of medications. And, they gave Caleb, they gave him nausea medication that you would give to a cancer patient. Why would they give him such strong medicine like that? He's throwing up in the ER. He's throwing up water, can't keep water or food down. He's not been able to keep anything down before, since then for 2 days before. And now, he's throwing up water in the ER. They're not they're not hydrating him. They're not admitting him to the hospital. They're sending him home with high-powered nausea medicine that you'd give to a cancer patient and 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. And they gave him some other stuff that like would help him relax so that he could sleep. Are you freaking kidding me? And he's falling asleep in the seat next to the guy that's driving him back to his barracks. And by the way, they said he had acute bacterial meningitis, and not one person came down with it. And, the lady that did the toxicology for Caleb's case said that it would raise red flags, the command, because nobody came down with acute bacterial meningitis. And if you know anything about that, apparently it's highly contagious and extremely deadly. And
what do you think happened?
Here's the other, let me add this one more thing and then I'll answer that. The other thing is the lady that did the toxicology report said she wasn't even sure it was acute bacterial meningitis. So she sent it off to another lab. We never hear back from the lab. So we FOIA'd for that information. And in 2 years, we still have not received that information. We have not received that FOIA back. What do I think happened? Well, I think it's almost anything, honestly. I think it could have been retaliation. A lot of people do. If you look at Caleb's autopsy, he's got a lot of decomposition on one side of his face and on that one side of his body. I don't know. Like, I'm not a doctor, but it just looks extremely suspicious to me coming from when you think about all of those little pieces of evidence or non-evidence, and the fact that the command was in his autopsy, attended his autopsy.
What? Isn't that illegal?
I need to go back and find where I saw that, but
I don't think anybody is allowed to attend an autopsy except for the medical examiner. And maybe authorities.
I will go back and find where it says that the command was there. So I'll prove it if it's true. If it's in the documents, I'll make sure I go back and find it. But I believe that's what I read.
Like I said before, Caleb was on rear detachment while the rest of the unit's getting ready to pack up and deploy. Caleb's put in with this group, the rear detachment, and these are usually the people that can't deploy because they're administratively getting separated, some kind of medical issues, troublemakers who are getting separated, just, the substandard of the unit. And Caleb was a freaking rock star. And I bet that threatened a lot of those substandard soldiers.
And some of those
He was a
substandard soldiers have come out of the closet, so to speak, come out of the woodwork, and like even asked for money from me. And I was thinking about this kid that I'm talking about right now, and I'm thinking he probably asked Caleb for money too while he was on base.
he asked me for money. He hit me up on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah, because, yep.
You got a question. Who conducts the autopsies for active duty?
Dover.
Ah,
They had a
I
a
used
lot
to
of times they
date
fly the body to
a mortuary.
Dover, and what they did is they had him in a normally they fly the bodies to Dover, but in this occasion, this instance, I guess they flew this examiner out, and Caleb was in a civilian mortuary, which I thought was really weird because I said, with this many deaths that you guys have on base, it just doesn't make any sense that you wouldn't have your own mortuary. I mean, are you kidding me?
Right. But everybody goes to Dover, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I dated a mortuary affair guy up at Dover. I wonder what he would have to say if I contacted him.
Yeah, I'm totally interested.
Let's see if I can.
Now I'm going to go back and find that little excerpt that I read. I can't remember if it was while I was reading one of the lives or something. I probably need to go back, and I got tired of reading his CID case live. I think it was just,
It's a lot.
I hit a roadblock. I need somebody to sit next to me, and that's when I was like, okay, I can use my friends on TikTok. Just to have the energy of the support.
Tell everybody what happened on TikTok.
What?
How you were just getting kicked off all the time.
Oh my gosh, I was constantly getting kicked off. I mean, I would be talking about the kid that, lied about checking on Caleb and how he needed, and the whole command, how they needed something other than, they needed a judicial punishment instead of a non-judicial punishment. And like, people were constantly getting mad at me and shutting me down and reporting me
because a lot of people think you're anti-military. You got a lot of active duty troops out there who are getting butt hurt because you're calling out the military on their, incompetence. And I understand because I was loyal as fuck. But they're not doing the work. They don't know what's going on. They're not paying attention. So they're just automatically attacking you. Do the fucking work, do your homework, and then make an informed decision. You just don't attack a Gold Star mom or a mom who's lost her son to incompetence in the military.
We're not making this shit up. Like, I'm the one reading the investigations. And let me tell you something. My attorney is happy to, if anybody that wants to see the investigation, you can contact my attorney. His name is Daniel Maharaj. He's out of Florida. He's a federal attorney. He's working with a lot of us families who have medical malpractice cases. There's more than medical malpractice here, folks. There's a lot more going on.
Negligence.
There's a huge like question marks. I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't sound. I feel like there was so much more to Caleb's case, and they just shut the door on it as soon as they said that it was natural causes, and then they stopped.
How old is he? 19 years old? Natural
He was
causes?
19. Yeah, 19 years old, natural causes, yeah. He was 12 points away from a perfect PT score, Kimberly.
That's why they hated him. That's why they hated him, Heather. Because
Mm-hmm.
they were all dirt bags. He was
That's what it
mixed
appears
up.
to be.
He should have deployed.
Sergeant Munya, his team leader.
Yeah, where the fuck was he? He was at school, but he came back during the weekend. It was his job to check on
He came back.
Caleb.
He came back like on Saturday night and was there Sunday and Monday.
Yep.
And still didn't check on Caleb.
And he
They
had a
didn't check on
soldier
Caleb
on
until
quarters.
Tuesday.
And he had a.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was trying to catch up.
He had a soldier on quarters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sergeant Munya shouldn't be working for the United States Army. He's not one of the elite. He's weak and he shirks responsibility, and that's why he doesn't deserve to be leading. Sergeant Munya and Colonel Otan, who's in charge of the whole thing, shouldn't be leading either. Let me see. It might be, oh gosh. Let's see. Sometimes I can go, anyway. Oh. Let's see here. I'm looking for, oh, I know where it's at. I have the duty roster. Let me find the duty roster and then I don't think it's going to say his first name. Okay. Yeah, Sergeant Munya. 3rd Squad. He was the squad leader.
How do you spell that?
Ellis. Muna. Paratrooper.
I thought I looked him up on LinkedIn.
Okay. So
we had his first name at one time.
I thought so too. I've taken screenshots, giving away all my information here, but we all do it. We take screenshots of things we find suspicious. Specialist Ellis, Specialist Pinado, Specialist Heineman, Specialist Ramos, Specialist Hunt, Specialist Stevenson, which is Devin Stevenson, the kid that's asked me and Kimberly for money, Private Martinez, Specialist Dongo, and Specialist Shatilov. That's everyone in 3rd Squad. And then you have 2nd Lieutenant Orr. So, we've got the leadership now. We have Sergeant Womble, we have Sergeant Easterling, we have Second Lieutenant Orr,
And nobody checked
Sergeant First Class Bushholes.
That's probably the platoon sergeant.
He
whose
is
ass
the
should have been
maintenance control
fucking grass.
sergeant. Yeah.
Yeah, his ass should have been grass. A platoon sergeant? If that was me, I would have been fired. I once had a soldier not show up to guard duty, and guess who had to pull guard duty? Because I was the platoon sergeant. I'm in charge of every fucking soldier in that platoon. Where the fuck was he?
Thank you, Kimberly. And I know there's a lot of other great leaders out there like you continue to be a leader here. And we just need you to step forward.
We need to get online with Gray Hughes.
Yes.
Can you arrange that? You talk to him, right?
With Gray? I would love to.
Or with Chasing. We were supposed to get on with Chasing, too.
Yeah, we need to reach out to them. Thank you, Sherry. It's so sad. I want to say Anthony, but I'm not sure. But I think that they have me blocked. They have me blocked like on everything now, probably because of who I am.
This kid was asking for money because he got discharged from the army.
Yeah. So see what they do. See, this is Brandy Martinez. She's the young lady that saw Caleb hit his head. Brandy Martinez. Okay. She's been told that she can't. I have a text message from her that says that she cannot speak to anyone. She cannot speak to anyone about Caleb's case unless it's to the chain of command or to the CID. We call that a gag order, friends. And so she's got it set up now when I look for friends. See, all my family is her friends, but I can't go to all and look up that dude because I was doing that. I mean, we're on the front lines, folks. It's nothing, I mean, she's kind of fallen in the crosshairs of this whole thing. But she didn't also go back and check on Caleb either. She checked on him one time, and then when she knew that there was more going on, she still didn't go back and check on him. Nobody did. I hold every single person in that third squad responsible. I don't care if you are a private. Have a heart. Be humankind. You said that you were Caleb's bestie over there, Brandy Martinez. Well, then, I mean, why didn't you check on him again?
Who the hell was bringing him food and water?
I mean, I guess you just check on somebody one time and then that's it.
He should have been getting 3 meals a day. Somebody should have went to the DFAC, got him breakfast, got him lunch, got him dinner.
Person. The only reason she went over to check on him was because Caleb sent a message to her, a voicemail that I have that's horrifying. It's of him crying and whimpering. And one of those days she went and checked on him. It's kind of unclear as to which day it was.
She put the compress on his head.
Yeah, cold compress. And that's why I'm saying, are you freaking kidding me? She put a cold compress on his head and she didn't get acute bacterial meningitis.
But she didn't tell anybody. She didn't say, hey, Sarge.
I think she did.
Private
She
Smithers.
encouraged. Yeah, I don't know exactly what she did. I think she just mentioned to Caleb that he needed to get help, and maybe
You
she
know what's
did
another
alert
problem
somebody,
here
but that's unclear.
is it's fucking cell phones is a problem too. Because back in
Oh
my
yeah, it
day, we
is.
didn't have phones, and we went and physically checked on people. Now it's all text,
Yeah, because you
and you
can't get a
can't
hold
tell.
of him.
Right. So you go to the door. I'd have to fucking get up in the middle of the night and go to someone's fucking door because I didn't have a fucking phone. We didn't have phones back then.
What I want to know is what the group text was saying. And nobody wants to give that information up. I want to know what their group text was saying.
Web Sleuths. Web Sleuths wants us on the channel too. I'm going to go ahead and contact them. We need to
Oh,
be on
Bonnie,
people's
why was
shows
he asking me for money? Okay.
because he's a loser.
I mean, he had
Because he knows you
twins.
got the life insurance. That's
He
why.
had that's why. That's the
That's the main reason.
the main reason. Um which I don't talk about and I won't talk about because that's Caleb's body. And people are real disrespectful when it comes to that. And they want to tell you how you're spending your money. Well, gosh darn it, I've
And you're
worked as a teacher for 20 years. And don't you think I've saved up a few dimes? You know?
You got people in your
I mean,
financial business?
people trying to nose their way into my financial business, into Caleb's death money. It's so disgusting. Yeah, they're just like flies. But yeah, this kid, he was the very last person to talk to Caleb. He was the very last person to call or speak to Caleb on a phone or in a text message. And I asked him about that. And then he asked me about basically how he was going to get food for his children. Well, the kid had been discharged. I think probably, I'm not sure if he was just a regular discharge or if it was dishonorable discharge. Um, he brought some drama, I know, to the unit with his wife. A bunch of drama that was going on between them. And you don't know who to believe, you know.
That's a
But
military
apparently
thing.
he had custody of the kids because she went off the deep end and whatever. And so I sent him Infamil. I said, okay, because he was asking for straight up money. And I was just like, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't, you know how when you don't feel comfortable about something, it's a big red flag. And I didn't feel comfortable about this. Like this kid is asking, he's starting to ask me for money for information and using his
That's the
kids
sick part.
as the hook. And as a teacher, I don't want any child to suffer. And so I sent him Infamil through Amazon. I was like, that's what I'll do. And then it just wouldn't stop. He just kept doing it over and over and over. I'll take care of people. I don't mind, but you're not going to use me. And I can tell when you're using me. His dad even called me randomly from Facebook because I actually found Devin Stevenson's dad. I said, okay, who is this kid? I want to check in on him and find out how he's really doing because he's asking me for money. So I found out who his dad was and I contacted his dad on Facebook and I said, can you tell me about how your son is doing because he's asking me for money? And he didn't act like it was any big deal. And I said, well, can I have his mother's phone number so I can talk to her? Well, he wouldn't give it to me. Made some excuse about Well, I know that Devin's living with his mother, you see. And she's probably taking care of those babies and providing for them. And he's over here asking
Right.
me, he's wanting money for other things, perhaps. I don't know. Or maybe if I supply him the Infamil and the diapers, then he's getting to save his money and use it for the things he wants to use it for or whatever. I don't know, but all I know is that one night I was sitting there minding my own damn business watching a movie. I was actually watching a movie for a change. And next thing I know is a Facebook Messenger's ringing off the hook, and it's Devin Stevenson's dad. What do you think he's asking me for? He asked me for money.
Yeah, because they know.
And I said, how dare you? Leave me alone. It's disrespectful. They don't even know me. They live halfway across the planet from me, and they can't ask people around them for money. Well, that's a big red flag right there. And then he's asking, he's asking for money and in exchange for information. He's telling me he's gonna write a letter to me with all the information that he knows and blah blah blah. Have I ever received that? No. And Kimberly actually footed the bill for that one that time and sent him like $25 or something like that.
$40. Yeah, it was 40
40
bucks.
bucks and so he remembered this random person that sent me money on my behalf one time. And so what does he do when I ignore him and I don't respond to every request he has about money? I'm telling you, he has asked me so many times, guys. It's not just like one random time. It's over and over and over and over again. So since I ignored him, he scrolled back through all his contacts. Who was that person again? Who's that? Oh, here it is. Kimberly Walker. Yeah, I'm going to ask her.
He hit
And
me
that's
up on
exactly what he
TikTok.
did.
He hit me up on TikTok.
On TikTok, nonetheless.
Uh-huh.
Man, he was desperate. Ooh. Man.
Sherry is a school teacher for 23 years. Sherry runs late.
Hi, Sherry.
I'm sorry that you went through the struggle that you went through, Sherry.
School teacher.
You
You were a
lost your
school
husband.
teacher for 23 years. Yes.
Oh no, no life insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
medical or
judgment.
a death can wipe out a person's life savings. You can work your whole life and then the medical industry will just take all your money from you because medical insurance sucks. And you'll go to your grave in bankruptcy.
And slept 4 hours a night. Yeah. And that's grief too. And the panic of what to do and how to make it. And then you're just like
And you
you're
busted your back.
2 to 3 jobs, working all of the jobs that can't open up full.
It's really hard time right now.
Yeah.
People are really struggling.
Oh my
And big
gosh.
corporations really don't give
Love
a
you,
fuck, and neither
Sherry.
does our government. I try to be positive,
You're amazing,
folks.
Sherry. I'm reading your
Gosh.
comments right now. Hi, Bonnie. It's high intensity right now. Hey, are you putting those up
Yeah.
there? That's cool. I think you can do
Hmm.
that from your end. I don't think I can do any of that from my end.
I don't know
I'm
how I
looking
did that.
at
Did
you
I
just
do that?
like did you just click on something?
I don't know. I might have. Oops.
I'm trying to figure out how to it wanted me to go through Safari this time. Um
Santa
the app that
Fe has a
we're
lot
on.
of homeless people begging on the streets, but it's mostly indigenous folks that are out on the streets. Um,
Yeah,
not
there
everybody
there
can
really
get
are.
not everybody can get hired. You know, if you don't have a background or if you grew up poor and you just didn't have opportunity, um, even being a person of color, being an indigenous person, it's hard to survive out there. And I have a lot of compassion for people that are living in poverty, especially when there's jobs that are only going to pay you like $9 an hour. You know, corporations need to step the fuck up and quit giving their CEOs bonuses and start paying people more.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about our teaching assistants.
The assistants.
Yeah, they get paid pennies to put up with all the things that we put up with, and they do a lot of the, like especially elementary teaching assistants, they do a lot of the teachers' work for them to, uh, to help prepare the class and everything. But a lot of them are behavior, like they help with behavior and stuff like that, and they get hit and kicked and bitten and all kinds of things these kids do. And and they pay them pennies basically. And actually, you get paid more if you're a substitute than you do if you're a teaching assistant. And the payoff there is that as a teaching assistant, you at least have some health care. But let me tell you, my deductible is 6.5 grand, and it's only for catastrophic. It's only insurance, health insurance for catastrophes, like me breaking my dang finger. Look at that, you guys. That is after 2 months of breaking. I broke that finger. I sure did. It'll never be the same again. And they want 6.5 grand. Just my deductible is 6.5 grand. So I mean, like, but the payoff is supposed to be, that they're getting insurance, which I can't. I mean, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna be a substitute teacher and just bank it. Oh man, and the substitute
Wow.
teachers, man, they take a beating because kids are. I'm telling you, I know you parents love your kids, but when they're confronted with a different opportunity in a day, to bamboozle somebody, things they can act a little differently. You know, they act a little differently around teachers than they do you, and then they'll act a little differently around a substitute differently than they will their own homeroom teacher. God bless America. Oh, Kimberly,
I'm sorry. I'm making dinner.
you're such an amazing
I haven't eaten
artist.
dinner yet. It's
It's
like eight
okay.
o'clock.
I know. I'm actually would love to grab some more of my lemonade. I love lemonade. It's my thing. I love it. It makes me so happy. Hey, I had some good food tonight. I just kept it real simple. I just boiled some potatoes, cut them up,
Mm.
boiled them,
Mm.
like the Yukon Gold.
Mm-hmm.
potatoes, and then I had steaks meat is really expensive right now, but I went to Costco a couple weeks ago and individually wrapped the portions so that I would have them. It's been so easy. Just thaw that, season it, chop it up, pan fry it real quick, throw it on the potatoes. It's
I'm
easy.
going to make that right now because I've
I
got some
know.
steak and I got some potatoes.
It's so
Where you
good.
at? Sherry runs late. Sherry is on the East Coast, I'm going to assume.
Yeah,
It's
it's
10:18 where
10:18.
she's at.
Okay, yeah, I'm yawning. It's
Indiana.
9:19 here.
Sherry, I grew up in Northern Illinois. So I was your neighbor for a while.
Oh
If
my
you're familiar
gosh,
with
you were.
Gurnee, Illinois. Shout out. Indiana, the Midwest.
Did you
I miss
see where Sherry said that her house burnt down?
No.
Wait, where did I miss that? I tried to.
What the fuck? Sherry.
It was a comment
Dude.
that was like one for us to check. And I said approved. I thought I did. Sherry, tell us about that. If that's what happened. I guess I don't know. I may have actually hit the wrong button. Are you? Kidney said.
What?
Kidney says, "Is this age group 18 to 24? Question mark. What medical training do they get in boot camp?"
So I answered that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, you get some like basic CPR, but in basic training, but they don't really spend a lot of time on it. But when you get to your first duty station, you're supposed to go to combat lifesaver course, which is like a week-long course where you learn all your basic combat life-saving skills.
16 messages up. Is there a
But
way
that's
for you
only
to
if the
copy
unit.
and paste it? Sherry,
What?
is there a way for you? I'm trying. She said it's 16 messages up is where she was talking about her house burning down, but I am looking for it.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Do you see it? I don't see it. I saw it for half a second and then. Well, I'm really so sorry to hear about that. I didn't read the whole message.
Yeah,
I just
you have
caught that.
not, Sherry.
That
You've had
little
like a
part.
string of bad luck. It
Yeah.
seems like. I hope you have a good support system where you're at.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's some community is important. It really is.
Oh my gosh.
For healing.
Yes.
You can't do it by yourself. And that sometimes we isolate ourselves.
Who have had the same kind of or share the same kind of pain and trauma as you do. It really does help me, just somebody to identify with you.
And you're young, Sherry. Didn't you say you're like 50 or something like that? Oh my gosh, you have PTSD. You should fucking apply for some disability so that you can get some healing. You need to take some time to get some healing. I'm 53. I'm 53 as well.
What?
I'll be 53 in July.
You guys are awesome. I just turned 46.
You young buck. I still had supple skin at 46. 48 things started going down, and then after 50 it was just like, like straight down.
Oh, great. I know I'm already seeing, the fine lines and wrinkles a little bit. And I know there's so many more people that are probably even younger than me that don't have, that have gray hair and stuff, but I have some. It's starting to come in. It makes me happy. The hairs are about that long. Oh, man. Exactly, Sherry. Sherry says, I can't stop. I'll die if I stop or slow down. Yeah. Sherry, that's exactly right. I mean, you can't stop me either. And it's the same thing. We have to keep going.
That's what happens to retirees, man. They retire and then they die because like their purpose is gone. It happens to a lot of like military retirees,
Hey, Kimberly,
and it's
look.
easy.
This was my first.
Oh, I love it.
Locked and Loaded Diaries.
That is so cool.
That was my first one, and then I came up with this.
I really like that. Oh, neat.
Remember?
Y'all know that Heather is, Generation X in the house, Bonnie Bell. Did y'all know Heather is a bona fide true artist?
Artiste.
I
Did
pretend
you know that
like
Kimberly is too? So that's why we fit together so well, because we both get each other. We're both artists.
Right. I have my undergrad in fine art, and I'm going to grad school right now to be an art therapist. And we're doing a lot of work on ourselves, and it's freaking hard. It's deep. I've been crying a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
In front of all these kids that I'm in class with, all these like 22-year-olds, and got this 53-year-old woman just like boo-hooing because she's perimenopausal.
Right.
And they're making me relive my freaking childhood and shit. It's like, God. It's a lot.
Oh,
interior design, that's interesting. Sherry's an interior designer. She is also an artist.
That is awesome. I need you to come help me, because that is not the art
I know.
like that I have. I'm just like, I'm gonna throw it all together. I'm the Salvador Dali kind of, artist, and that's kind of how my house is too. I got the lobster phone. No, I don't really have a lobster phone, but I would love to have a lobster phone. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about are probably like, what the hell? Just talking about a lobster phone. It's a Salvador Dali thing, guys. Oh, well, Kimberly.
Are we about to call it a night? Let's call it a night.
I think so. I think I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to talk to all of you fine people. And Kimberly, I'm so glad that we got to catch up. I think it's a great idea. We need to get a hold of Gray. I like what Gray says, my current husband. My current husband. Yes.
Does that mean that there's going to be one after that?
I mean, it probably means that she did tell us that she lost her husband.
So she's got another one.
Yeah. But yeah. I love that. I'm laughing because I've been married 3 times. I've been married 3 times and I still can't get it right.
I just sent you Gray Hughes' email so that you can reach out to him, Heather. Yeah. Good night, Kidney. Good night, Sherry Runs Late.
I love you, Sherry Runs Late.
Good night, Bonnie Bell. Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, Heather. When are
Good
we
night.
going to physically get together?
Well, that's a
I
good
know we got a
question.
lot going on. We got a lot going on.
Like, what's your June look like? Because I mean, it's nothing
I'm
for me to
off.
drive up. I could drive up
Oh,
next
there's
weekend.
Jeff. Jeff's been in the conversation the whole time. Hey, everybody, slap you with my meat.
Jeff,
Jeff,
we love you. Thank you
Jeff,
so much for joining us, Jeff. You're so supportive.
Jeff and I lived together for almost 2.5 years, and he has been with me through a lot of this. He knows
Oh yeah,
my commitment to this mission, and he's been really supportive. And
yes.
I'm glad to see that he stuck it out with us the whole evening. Now
You're
him and I are
awesome.
we're gonna have a private chat and do some medical
morning.
some medical marijuana together.
Yeah,
he's
there
in
you go.
he's in Cincinnati. I'm in New Mexico, but we like to FaceTime and smoke together sometimes. Yeah, I just busted you out. Yeah.
Oh well, they haven't made illegal in Texas yet. I see the benefit for sure.
It is legal. There are cannabis stores everywhere in New Mexico. You don't have to wait in line.
Really?
You can just walk in, but it's 20% tax. So it's expensive.
Dang.
But I mean it's convenient. It's right there. I was shopping the other day and I'd walk by like tons of cannabis stores. So I stopped in one. Went in
Wow.
there, got some gummies, got some flour, and left. I was in and out of there in like 10 minutes. Gotta come visit,
you
girl.
see it? It's on the ground.
These red states. There's such dinosaurs, those politicians. They think that cannabis is bad. You know what's bad for us? Alcohol. Alcohol
Yeah,
is so
and all the
toxic.
prescription drugs.
And all the prescription medicine. But cannabis is bad.
All the natural stuff is bad.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are smoking something really dank over there. If that's what you think. You think that your synthetic drugs are gonna heal us? Well, they're synthetic.
Right. If Indiana would just the first month that recreational marijuana was legal in New Mexico, we surpassed the first day of Colorado sales when Colorado went legal. We've sold like $53 million worth of cannabis since it's been open since for April 1st, I think. $53 million. I bet Indiana could use some of that to fix their roads. I mean, it's just common sense. And it makes people happy.
Like, it's just weird. Alcohol is killing people. I mean, it's a personal choice, I guess. And they say alcohol is a disease or whatever. But I mean, it's still something that you put into your body. It's such a deception. My husband, my former husband, he was an alcoholic. He's been now alcohol-free, Reb, for 6 years. He just celebrated his 6th year of being
amazing.
sober. Yeah. And I remember telling him, like, Reb, I'll be your best friend, but like, I need a healthy man, like you got to stop doing this. Cause he'd go back when I'd hang out over at the house, he'd go to his bedroom, pour like, half a glass of tequila and sip on that until he was done sipping on it. I mean, it's like, if you're not drinking, you can tell you can smell it. And then I'd walk in sometimes and find him on the floor. And so I'm just so grateful that he was able to, stop drinking for himself, and then, he has lots of seizures. And so that doesn't help with anything. It's such a, our bodies are, there's a book called The Body Keeps the Score. Have you ever read that book? The Body Keeps the Score.
I own it.
But
I
you own
it.
it. Okay. Yeah.
No.
So I guess that's what we've actually talked about this a lot then. Yeah. How the body keeps the score. So with all that being said, let's take care of ourselves, guys. All of you guys that are out there, and you watch true crime, you pay attention to true crime, you're a true crime junkie like us, like me. You gotta mix that with some comedy too. Don't just true crime it the whole time, because it's heavy stuff, and you'll start noticing your joy change. I have to stick in this because of Caleb's death, but I know, like, a lot of the podcasters that do true crime, you guys need to give yourself some breathing room, because this is heavy stuff. You're amazing, Kimberly.
It takes such. You're amazing.
Thank you, Jeff, for just being here. And yeah, I think about like Kimberly doesn't have to do any of this, but she does because and this is, we're not making anything off of this. We're actually spending money on this. Just so that we have a voice. Yeah. Honestly. Mm-hmm. We're not making any dimes on any of this. So unless you guys will share our, information, it's the only way it would become monetized. But God bless. How awesome would that be if it did become monetized? And think about the families that we could possibly help in different ways.
We got to work on making our Halloween bigger, because we're stalled. We are stalled at 1,700 subscribers. We've been there for a week or so, maybe a few weeks. So we need to get on some other shows. And hopefully some other podcasts can plug us so that we can get some more followers. And on school break, when I'm on break, I'm going to be all up on the TikTok. Trying to do something there.
It's just
right. It's now, a lot of work.
Yeah, and I'm trying to work with the Mothers of the Fallen right now. You'll be hearing more about the Mothers of the Fallen. We're a group of families who have military injustices a part of our service members' deaths, and we're going to Congress as a group, as the Mothers of the Fallen, to request a hearing. So yeah, we need your help to share that information. Please, please, please. Oh my gosh, it's 223.
What?
What? We've been on for 2 hours and 23 minutes. That's Caleb's jump number.
Oh my gosh.
223.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is weird.
I love you guys.
That's Caleb.
Thank you. Yes, it is Caleb. Thank you so much, you guys. There's Caleb. To our 7 people watching now. Thank you so much. We love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us this evening. I don't want to let Kimberly go because I love her so much. I don't want to let anybody go.
I got to eat. I'm making steak and potatoes right now.
It's the best. Steak and taters. I still have some taters in my bowl.
What are you doing?
All right.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
We'll be recording. We're recording our next interview on Thursday, and then I'll edit it and release it on Friday. We'll be talking to a sister of an airborne trooper who was murdered in a parking lot outside of Fort Bragg. And of course, the military is doing some cover-up shit. Some people were involved and just giving the family the runaround. And we're going to talk to her on Thursday.
I can't wait to hear
she's
this,
been going
man.
through, yeah, and she really needs us. She's depressed. She feels alone.
Oh, it's so lonely.
You know,
it is. It's so heartbreaking and lonely. Hopefully we can give her some support. And these families need so much support. That's why it's so important that you guys are here. Thank you so much. Because when the families hear what your comments are, it really does matter to them. That means somebody's paying attention and not turning a blind eye and turning the back on us. So thank you so much. We love you. God bless you.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Love you guys. God bless America. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.